is a factual motion. The proposition would first like to define some terms. We define U.S. as the people, government, and the society of the United States of America. And we define socialist in its basic terms of being a redistribution of wealth and resources, ranging from a low scale all the way to a higher scale, such as communism. The judging criteria is weight of circumstances in our view. And I guess let's just get right into it. The proposition is arguing using the levels of truth. We believe that we will show you that on all levels of truth, on all the 5 levels of truth, that we have won this debate. So let's get right into it. The first level of truth is the humanitarian level. The U.S. is a socialist nation on the humanitarian level when we look at 2 things. The first thing, subpoint A, is that the State Department and other government agencies give money to other countries. Think about all the aid that this country gets. The State Department piles out millions and billions a year to go to countries just as aid. There aren't really any strings attached. This money doesn't need to go back. So this is a socialist move. Our second subpoint B, is that not just the government participates in this aid. Have we ever heard of charities like Feed the Children or other charities that across this globe that U.S. citizens pour their money and time into? This is socialist. This doesn't affect us. This is a redistribution of wealth, as the definition went. So moving on, the second level of truth. We go down to the global level. The U.S. is a socialist nation on a global level because we recognize some countries that are socialist. I know, this point sounds a little strange enough, but let me explain. In the Cold War, countries like China, or the People's Republic of China, were not acknowledged as countries. And countries like Vietnam and North Korea, we were fighting wars against socialism ideas. But now, in today's world, we acknowledge some of these countries, in fact, most of them. We acknowledge countries like Egypt, like China, and so China's a socialist country. We acknowledge it, and we even acknowledge countries like Denmark. Denmark, not many of us may know, but Denmark is a socialist country. Many of the Scandinavian countries are socialist. We acknowledge these, and in this case, we are acknowledging that socialism does exist, and even more, we are showing that we went from the state of being non-socialist to the state of being socialist. This is just a way that we can tell that we have become socialist. Moving down to the next level, the political and governmental level. Our first subpoint is that the government interferes with what we so-call capitalism. We believe that we are a capitalist nation. We believe that we are a capitalist nation. But think of what the United States government has done and what the people have consented for the government to do. We have poured millions into the auto industry, into the banking industry, in these bailouts, with no expectation that we're going to get this money back. So the subpoint B, we have incredibly high taxes in this country, and taxes and the government spending make up a huge amount of the spending of all of this nation. For example, we spend 36.1% of our gross domestic product on government spending. The government is spending over a third of what this nation spends. Subpoint C is that welfare and other services. We have so many services that are pouring out, like Medicaid, welfare, and all, even the food and lunch business that goes on in this country. We have so much of this pouring out. In fact, just to show how socialist the United States is on a political and governmental level, we have a whole department, the Department of Health and Human Services, that is devoted to socialist aspects like these. The next level is the societal level. Now, the society of the United States is very socialist, actually. Let's look at religion, for example. The Church of Latter-day Saints, members of the Church of Latter-day Saints give 10% of their income to the church. That is a requirement that they have. That is a belief that they have set, and they give that money. There are many other religions in this country that do the same thing too. Even in most churches, there's a collection box that goes by, or a collection basket, yes.
It is a choice to be a member of this church, correct?
Yeah, that is true, but we can still choose to be socialists. So subpoint B to that, to the idea that the U.S. is socialist on the societal level. I've mentioned this somewhat, but charity, we give charity. We give millions and billions in charity. For example, Bill Gates, he's a perfect example. He gave 1/3 of his income to charity. On the individual level, though this is sometimes regarded as the lowest level, it's actually a huge level in this debate. With this point that we'd like to bring up, we learn to share. We learn in school, starting in kindergarten, to share. Whether it's share the marker, share the scissors, but we learn to share. Subpoint B, moving along, we take care of each other through money and through resources. Neighbors give each other sugar to borrow. This is all a socialist idea because it's a redistribution of wealth and a redistribution of resources. So as you can see, all the U.S. is socialist on every count, on all the levels of truth. And because the proposition was able to show this, we would like to ask for the judge's vote in this debate. Thank you.